My in-laws won't speak to me until I tell them which of my sons isn't really theirs. I'm a 34-year-old widow. My husband Mark died in a car accident 4 months before our twin boys were born. I carried one of them. The other was his nephew's son, my husband's sister's grandson, if that makes sense. Born to a 19-year-old girl named Bree, who found out she was pregnant the same month I did. Bree wasn't ready. She'd told me early on, crying in my kitchen, that she'd thought about ending the pregnancy but couldn't stop picturing a version of her baby's life happening somewhere far away from her own mess. She didn't want strangers raising her son. She wanted someone who'd let her stay close, without the label of mother hanging over either of them. I was already pregnant, already grieving, and somehow that made the idea feel less crazy instead of more. Mark's family was going to be my son's family either way. I told her I'd raise him as my own, as a twin to the baby already growing in me. We did it through a lawyer, everything documented, everything legal. I named my biological son Wesley. I named her son Theo. Bree asked gently but firmly that we not tell Theo about his origins until he was older. She wanted the chance to become part of his life slowly, as his mother, when and if she felt ready, without a courtroom or a headline moment. I didn't love the plan, but I understood it. She'd be around constantly, just not labeled. A built-in aunt who happened to show up at every birthday. When the boys were 6 weeks old, I brought them to meet Mark's parents for the first time since the funeral. I'd been dreading it and hoping for it in equal measure. These were the only grandparents my sons had left on their father's side, and I wanted them in our lives. His mother held them both, cooed over them, and then looked up and asked which one was the real one. I told her they were both real, both mine. She said she knew what she meant, and I said I genuinely didn't, because I'd fed both of them at 3 a.m. for 6 weeks straight, and named them both myself, and grieved their father with both of them inside me in some form or another. She got sharper. His father joined in. They wanted to know which boy carried Mark's actual bloodline. For the family, they said. For wills and photo albums and some invisible ledger I didn't know I was supposed to be keeping. I explained again. Both boys were legally, permanently, completely mine. It didn't matter which one had which DNA. It mattered to them. A lot. The fight got ugly fast. His mother accused me of playing games with a grieving family's last connection to their son. His father said I was being needlessly cruel by hiding something so simple. I said the only cruelty happening was two grandparents deciding one grandson mattered more than the other before either boy could talk. I left. I told them they could see the boys again when they could treat both of them the same, and not 1 second before. That was 2 months ago. The texts have not stopped. Guilt-laced paragraphs about Mark rolling in his grave, demands wrapped in soft language. We just want to know, sweetheart, that's all. A voicemail from his mother saying I was punishing an old woman for asking a fair question. I blocked her twice and unblocked her once out of some exhausted hope she'd changed her mind. She hadn't. Bree has been furious on my behalf, showing up most evenings to help with bath time, sometimes falling asleep on my couch with Theo on her chest before she even realizes she's dozed off. My sister-in-law, Mark's younger sister, has quietly sided with me too, which has caused its own fracture in that family. She stopped attending Sunday dinners over it. Last Tuesday, both boys were screaming at the same time. Wesley had a fever and needed medicine measured out exactly right, and Theo had thrown up on himself and needed changing immediately. And I stood in the hallway between 2 doors realizing I only have 1 body and 2 babies, and a grief I haven't fully let myself feel yet. Bree walked in without knocking. She still has a key, and just took Theo out of my arms without a word while I sat on the floor and cried harder than I had at the funeral. I keep wondering if I'm punishing 2 old people for loving their son too much, or if I'm protecting my sons from growing up as a math problem their own grandparents solved out loud in front of them. Bree says she never wants Theo to learn someday that half his family sorted him into a lesser category before he could walk. I think that's the answer. I'm just tired of carrying it alone.